NFL film's absolutely the best. We say it every single week. So true. Just like me last week. By barely breaking 500, I was the big winner last week. How pathetic is that?
How many games you ahead of me now?
5. It's over. San Francisco at Seattle. This is a big battle. How about these two quarterbacks, though? At the beginning of the year, if you'd have said Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick are going to be in the big showdown, two of the hottest quarterbacks in football, no way, right?
I would have said the same thing I say all the time. You're crazy. But, you know, that's just you and I. It really is intriguing. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. They are at home. And here's one of the big reasons why. When they played back when they faced each other, I thought the Seahawks out-hit the San Francisco 49ers in the first half, didn't take advantage of it. And think about the 49ers. Emotionally, they have had some tough schedule the last 4 or 5 weeks. That's why I'm taking Seattle.
I think that offense and defensive line for San Francisco is going to ground these guys. Now, don't get me twisted. I think that Seattle has a good front four, but the last time that D-line went against that offensive front for the 49ers, they buried them. I think it's going to happen again.
I think you're going to see a lot more points. These two teams offensively are so much better than the last time they met.
Yes, they are.
Not going to pick the game, but I'm going to move right along here. New York Giants at Baltimore. Now, ordinarily, I like picking teams that got humiliated the week before because they tend to bounce back. What do you do when you have two teams that got humiliated the week before? How's that work?
This one was hard. It was a toss-up for me because with that front four with the Giants, you know, once they get going and they blitz and they get that pressure on you, then they're really, really dominant. But sometimes they don't show up, and it affects that entire defense.
If they get it going, that's the problem there.
The problem is they're not rushing the passer like they have in the past.
Right, but they haven't been using Ray Rice effectively in Baltimore, in my opinion. And with Cam Cameron going, I think they're going to struggle with getting that continuity back, so I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens down there. The fact that how they played last week, the offensive coordinator change, Jim Caldwell's going to get them ready. Joe Flacco needs to rebound. A lot of heat on him. I know the Giants played bad last week, but down in Baltimore, I think it's one of the best home fields in the NFL.
Ooh,
it clearly has been, but you get the change in the coordinator's position. The thing is with the New York Giants, 48 sacks a year ago. They ranked third in the NFL, just 32 now. They have to crank it up because Flacco's been turning it over. They have to keep that trend alive. I hope Ahmad Bradshaw plays. I'm picking the Giants. Minnesota at Houston. J.J. Watt now jumps up 19.5 sacks from an interior pass rush situation. You know about that.
I like J.J. Watt. I was a little bit skeptical in the beginning of the season because I wanted to see how he developed once you start getting those double teams and things thrown at you. He has marched right through it. So
it keeps working.
Yeah, so I think that with that aggressive defense they do, I think this is going to be the first week that Adrian Peterson is going to get stifled, and I'm going with Houston.
I think that the Houston defense can really concentrate on Adrian Peterson because one thing this Minnesota offense hasn't done, they haven't been throwing the football a lot or very successful, so I don't think they can take advantage of all that man-to-man coverage the Houston Texans play, so I'm taking the Texans.
I'm taking the Texans, too, despite the fact that Adrian Peterson now, in the last 7 games, has more yards rushing than 3 teams in the NFL.
It's unbelievable.
He's got to be the MVP. I know that other people, Peyton Manning's had a great year, Tom Brady, but what he has done this season, he has my vote as of right now. We'll see. New Orleans at Dallas. At least I have a vote.
You have a vote, yes.
The Saints are going in there, but let's give Rob Ryan a little bit of credit now. This is a football team that got destroyed up the middle. 2 nose tackles gone, the 2 inside linebackers gone, and a safety gone, and they're piecing it back together.
Look, he's a terrific defensive coach, and he's scaled back. That's hard for a guy like him to do. For Ryan to do. It's like me saying to Bill Walsh, who was an innovator of so many things on offense, we want you to be really conservative on offense today. That's tough for those guys, but he's done a great job. Tony Romo's been terrific, but I'm taking the New Orleans Saints because of that offense. I still think they're mad about Bountygate. They got that off their heads finally, and we know Drew Brees, it's always pushing down the field. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, and I think New Orleans will win.
I agree with you. My pick is New Orleans, and it's because I don't think that Tony Romo is going to be able to keep up with Drew Brees as far as a high-scoring game. It's just not going to happen. DeMarco
Murray playing well. He's getting healthy again, and I think Brandon Carr is probably the biggest acquisition other than Peyton Manning this season. He's been fantastic. Won the game the other day. I'm taking Dallas. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. You're calling this game, right? Give us a little tidbit on it.
I'm doing the game, but I'm fascinated by Cincinnati's defense. And in this day and age, their defensive line, their front 7, really it's about their front 11 and the defensive backs are playing well. Just can't wait to see them in person and see if that defense is as good as I think it is.
I think Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to go out there. This offensive line, they have that defensive line's number. And I think that Antonio Brown knows that he owes them a whole lot for what happened with last game. I think him, Mike Wallace, Jericho Cotchery, I think they're going to go and take this win for them.
If the Bengals hadn't blown a 9-point fourth-quarter lead, they would have won 6 straight games. Got A.J. Green going up against the secondary without Ike Taylor with several injuries back there. It's obvious to pick the Bengals, so I'm picking the Steelers just to irritate them a little bit more. And that is that. That's our pick 6 for Week 16. After that, there's only one thing left to do. Leave the country. Now we head north to the border and a kickoff of the whip around.